before we go, just time for the first visit of the new stairs to the big red chair. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Brett Dunbar.
Brett Dunbar. We have the full name and address here. We just go with first names because people Google people and find them on Facebook and are really abusive afterwards. So we'll just say Brett. Brett.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I hear an accent. Where are you from?
Originally from South Africa.
OK. But you live here now?
Yes, in Walton-on-Thames.
OK, full address again. Brett wants to be found. Live location. All right, Brett, what do you do?
I'm a communications manager for a company.
Oh. All right, Brett, off you go with your story.
Right, so I was in South Africa with my best friend. We were at a lodge, and we were students, no money, and we really only had money for beer and cigarettes. So we decided to go to a lodge, and we were on this beautiful gorge, and my friend Roxanne said, "Oh, look, Brett, it's a monkey." And I looked and I said, "No, Rox, that's a baboon. We need to go." So we slowly backed away, and we were the only ones on this gorge, literally looking between death and this baboon. And he came up, sat on our table. He ate every single one of our cigarettes, except hers, because they were the cheap brand. Then he put his muzzle into our beers, downed both of them, and then, after a good time, just urinated all over the table.
I'm flipping. I wanted the baboon to do more.
Yeah. He's 2 years sober now, the baboon.
Also, if that had happened in Hyde Park, an amazing story.
Yeah. You're on safari in a lodge.
Yeah, you're by a gorge in South Africa. Of course there's a baboon. Who do we have? Hello.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Marian.
Marian. I have high hopes for Marian. Where are you from, Marian?
I'm from North London.
North London, keeping it vague. And what do you do in North London?
I'm a nurse.
A nurse?
Yeah.
Oh, medical stories, very good. Listen, everything's crossed for you, Marian.
Thank you.
It's going to be great. Off you go with your story.
Thank you. So when I was training, I got engaged to one of the hospital porters.
Of course you did.
Everybody said he was a womaniser. I wouldn't believe them. We were living together. I had to call him one night when he was on a night shift. Only when I called him, he actually wasn't on the night shift. And I knew there was a nurse who was quite popular and who had eyes for him. And I knew where she was working. So I phoned the ward and, surprise, surprise, she'd gone off sick. So I trotted round to the nurse's home where she lived, knocked on her door. She opened it, looked absolutely horrified and wasn't wearing much. And I said, "Oh, I heard you weren't well. Came to see if you needed anything." And she said, "No, that's really kind of you, but no thanks." And I said, "Well, OK, but, you know, as I'm here, I've never seen these rooms. Would you mind if I had a look round?" And she was, as I barged past her, she was bleating, "Well, it's very messy." I said, "Oh, I don't mind." I walked in, I thought, I've made a terrible mistake, he's not here. And then I saw an open window and I thought, good God, we're on the 6th floor. Headed towards it, and as I did, the door of a very small wardrobe swung open. And inside it was my very large 6'3" fiancé in his pants and his socks. So I just turned round and said, "Yeah, you're right, this room is a mess." Walked out. He tried to follow me in his pants and his socks. There was a wooden staircase. He slipped, fell the whole length of it, landed at the bottom and knocked his front tooth out.
You can walk. Walk, Marian. Come on. It was short. It had a lovely conclusion. Yeah, karma, instant.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he was guilty. That's how it goes.
He was just fixing the window.
I think she leapt to conclusion.
Who is there? Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Farah.
Farah, lovely. And where are you from, Farah?
Kensington.
Kensington, hello. And what do you do, Farah?
I used to do production, actually, but I'm a mum recently.
OK,
Just
lovely.
recently.
Like how recently?
Oh, God, how? Oh. Forgot my baby.
I really hope social services aren't watching. Calling Farah. Farah, come in.
That's awful.
No, that is quite bad, Farah. I'll have a word. We'll cut this bit out.
Oh, 2 months.
I love how you couldn't remember 2 months.
Let's call it baby brain.
Oh, God.
Is this your first night out since baby?
Yeah, it is. Can you tell?
The excitement.
Yeah.
You're never going home. And is it a little boy or a little girl?
It's a girl, I remember that.
So will I be brave and ask for a name? I don't want to push you.
Aurora.
Aurora! Beautiful!
Mummy's on TV!
When Aurora's older, she'll watch this and go, dear God, you forgot me after 2 months. Sorry, off you go with your story.
Right, please, no judgment. I was very young and I went to a house party and we were mixing our drinks. I went to the bathroom. I needed to go pretty urgently. Sat down immediately, as you do.
Yes.
And I realised there was no toilet paper. Oh. So I looked around, what could I use? There was a flannel. Picked it up, used it. Thought, oh, it's OK, I'll throw it out the window. There was no window. So I just folded it, put it back, and exited and left.
Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Isn't there a crucial question we're missing asking here?
Oh, was it? No. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Miranda, I think you can guess.
No, we're all assuming. We're all assuming.
I'm just...
Selena looks confused. Number one and number two.
Most of the time I am.
Number one and number two is what we're asking.
I wouldn't be here if it was number 1, let's say that.
Oh, my God! Oh! Aurora is the one who's trying to forget her now. I don't recognise her. Who do we have? Hello.
Hi, Graham.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
My name's Bill.
Bill, hello, Bill. And where are you from, Bill?
I was originally from the East End of London, but now I live in Essex.
Oh, lovely. That's the dream. And, what do you do in Essex, or what did you do in Essex?
I'm happily retired.
Oh, lovely. And what was the job?
I worked in IT for a major high street bank.
IT? All right, well done you, Bill. OK, off you go with the story.
So I've been married to my wonderful wife, Sue, for 43 years, and it was around about our 7th wedding anniversary in April. Normally in the lead-up to those sort of events, Sue's saying to me where we're going, what we're doing, things like that. But I'd had none of that, and I put that down to the fact that we had 2 young children and she was quite busy. So on the day in question of our anniversary, I come down in the morning and she was sitting at the computer tapping away, and I thought she's forgotten. So I walked over to her and I gave her a card. And she said, what's that? I said, well, you've forgotten, haven't you? She said, I said, open it. And I said, it's a wedding anniversary card. And she said, she calmly gave it back to me. She said, yeah, she said, we got married in July. I think you got married to your first wife in April.
Ooh. Ooh. I think you can walk. I think that's a very... You can walk, Bill. That's good. I like that Bill's a player. We didn't know there was a first wife. Or is he just an idiot? We don't know. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
I am Paul.
Paul?
Yeah.
And where are you from, Paul?
I live in Leeds.
Great. And what do you do in Leeds, Paul?
I run a design agency.
Do you?
Yes.
OK. What? Denzel, stop it! Paul's from Leeds and he runs a design
What's
agency.
his name, Paul?
Paul.
It's better be good, Paul.
Off you go with your story, sir.
No pressure.
So, my girlfriend, who has now become my wife, was staying over at my place, and she stayed a bit longer than she probably planned to, and she said, can I borrow some pants for work? So I said, yeah, have a look in the drawer, and in a kind of stack of boxes, she found a pair of tighty whiteys, and she said, oh, these look all right, I'll wear these, and I thought, I don't think they're mine. And she said, OK, I'll put them on, went to work, and then halfway through the day, the penny dropped, and I texted her and I said, I'm really sorry, you're wearing my dad's underpants. It was... Yeah, he kind of had his balls in there, so enjoy your day. And,
Who's the balls? What's one in the wall? That was someone killing him with a stick.
That was a good
That's very Gladiator.
Yeah, that was very good, yeah. You did well, but no. You died. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay, lovely. Where are you from, Lindsay?
California.
Lovely. And are you here on holiday or do you live here now?
I'm a college professor here teaching in the study abroad program.
Oh, wow. What are you teaching?
Communication studies.
OK. What was your name again? I've forgotten already.
Lindsay.
Lindsay, OK. All right, Lindsay. Off you go with your story.
So this took place in a college classroom. It was about 7 years ago. I was 35 weeks pregnant, and I had, was lecturing, dropped the dry erase marker, turned my back to the class, bent down, and as I bent down, I let out the loudest fart. And I got scared, and it wasn't, the bend and snap that we know from Legally Blonde. It was more of a I got a bit scared, and I tightened up the cheeks, and I just stood there with my back turned to the class and slowly turned around and said, you know what, I think that's it for today. And we're only about 20 minutes in. So honestly, I think it'd be the best interest for me to walk on and not let gravity take its course this time as well.
Lindsay, thank you very much. You like the story? There she goes. Yay! Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Matthew.
Matthew. OK, and where do you live, Matthew?
Canvey Island.
Oh, Canvey Island, lovely part of the world.
Thank you.
What do you do there?
I'm actually an actor at Shrek's Adventure.
At what?
Shrek's Adventure on the South Bank.
I didn't know that was on. Shrek's Adventure, everyone. He's in it. Off you go with your story.
So this was a few years ago while I was at... while I was at university.
He was choking.
Right after Shrek's Adventure.
He was choking.
My little one's laughing.
Thumbs up who thought that was me. Yes, you see.
Yeah, it is a mean concept, in fairness. One more.
He was like,
OK, one more. Here we go.
No more.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi, what's your name?
my name's Carrie.
Carrie, lovely. And where are you from, Carrie?
I'm from Egham, which is near Windsor if you're posh, or Staines if you're not.
OK. Which do you live near?
Definitely more near to Staines, I think.
OK, near Staines. Off you go with the story, Carrie.
Several years ago, I was at a party with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law's sister-in-law was also there.
OK, anyone else confused?
Very confused, really. But I knew that this lady was expecting a baby, so I made a mental note to go off and congratulate her about her pregnancy. So I arrived at the party. She was there and made a beeline for her, and I don't know what possessed me, but I put my hand on her little round tummy, and I shook it, and I just said, "Oh, when's it due?" She looked at me very stony faced and said, "The baby's 3 months old, and you're shaking my cesarean scar." My husband, who was with me, turned on his heel and disowned me immediately, and I was left very, very blank-faced. So, yeah.
Walker flip. I'm in two minds.
I think that was a brave story to tell, actually.
Brave.
Story to tell. The sister-in-law thing lost me.
J-Lo has spoken. Oh, who's there? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Lynn.
Lynn. Hello, Lynn. And where are you from?
I'm from Kent.
Kent, lovely. And what do you do in Kent, Lynn?
I'm a sales manager for a glove company.
Glove company. Busy weather for you right now, isn't it? Yes. No wonder you're here, partying. Yeah. Champagne for Lynn. All right, off you go with the story.
So I took my son, who was 5 or 6 years old, to his swim lesson, and was sitting with a big crowd of parents at the end of the pool, and I was chatting to the lady next to me, talking about what we were doing that Saturday night. And I said, we're going to a restaurant with friends. And while we were chatting, our boys got out of the pool, and I wrapped my son in a towel when we were talking, and he interrupted, and he said, "Mummy, no, you're not going to a restaurant. You've got a games night tonight." And I said, oh, no, that's in a few weeks' time. We've got a family over for a games night. Carried on talking to the lady about the restaurant. And he interrupted again and went, "No, Mummy," at which point everything went very quiet. And he said, "You've definitely got a games night. Daddy said you're playing hide the sausage tonight."
First story. You can walk. You can walk, Lynn. That was a good story. Yeah. Yeah.
Building it.
You time for one more?
Yeah.
One more. It's nearly Christmas. It's nearly Christmas. We'll have another one. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Kate.
Kate, lovely. And where are you from, Kate?
I'm from Newcastle, but I live in London.
OK, what do you do in London?
I'm a sales manager as well.
Oh, right. Not of gloves, not of gloves. No? Is your product not doing so well at the moment?
No, but I don't know if my company would want me to tell my story.
Is it sex toys?
I like the way it immediately went from gloves to sex toys.
She said she
I'm so sorry, Kate.
It's not.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, Kate. Yeah. Off you go with your story.
So it was a Friday afternoon, a very summery Friday afternoon, and I was very excited to go out for dinner after work with my friends. But first I had an hour-long 5 p.m. company-wide work call that my CEO was hosting. So I thought I would multitask. I would do camera off.
The meeting, not the story.
No.
I was joining in with the story, Nicole. I wasn't just heckling the poor woman. No. I mean, it's not that interesting, but still, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Kate. Off you go.
So I thought I would multitask. I'd have the call on, but my camera off, and I'd be doing my makeup and hair.
Oh, yes.
And then it was time to change my outfit. So I stood up, walked over to the wardrobe, took all my clothes off, and then I heard the tone of the CEO just slightly change when he was giving a financial report, and I looked at my screen, and I was on the bottom right-hand corner, camera on, and I had given a free impromptu striptease to my whole company. And the call was also recorded and then sent out to everyone.
Wow. I think you should own that company now. Walk. There you go. Excellent. Well done. That was a good hit rate. You haven't been here before, Benson. That's very rare that two people walk. Very, very rare.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Don't look so tense. It'll be fine.
I am nervous.
What's your name?
Brenda.
Brenda. Where are you from?
The accent's Canadian, but I actually live here in London.
OK, and what do you do here, Brenda?
I'm actually a mum.
OK, lovely. How many kids?
I'm embarrassed to say one, and he's 24. But he's still a kid.
Wow. Oh, Brenda.
I know, poor him.
That's a red chair story right there.
I know.
But off you go with your story, Brenda.
Right, so my story is about Adele. And I was traveling with my son, it was about 10 or 12 years ago, and we were in a small regional airport in the north of Denmark. And we were already boarded, and we were sat in row 3, which was the first row of economy, sort of right in front of the curtain. Then there was business in front, 2 rows.
Interesting, yeah.
Empty, completely empty. And we were all boarded, and there was a bit of a delay, and we just didn't know, there was no one in business class. And then I could hear what they were saying at the front. The pilot came out, and he said, what's going on? What are we waiting for? And they said, well, actually, we're waiting for Adele. And my son and I went, Adele, who doesn't love Adele? We're going to be breathing the same air as Adele. And so we waited, and we were so excited. It made sense to us because she actually had played at a venue not terribly far from this place. So we were looking out the window, and we were thinking, when she gets on, and we get to altitude, and that curtain snaps shut, we're going to maybe sing, Hello from the Other Side. And then we were getting more and more excited.
I'm so tempted to flip you, but I want to know what happened.
So the big car pulls up, and we think, this is it, this is Adele, she's coming, we're going to be best friends. Then the door opens, a guy comes out, and he bounds up the stairs, carrying something the pilot had left behind, and it was a laptop computer, and it was Adele.
I mean, it provoked a similar emotion. We kept waiting. And then that arrived. Here we go, just time for a Christmas visit to the big red chair. Look, it's all Christmassy. Oh, adorable. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
Amelia.
Amelia? And where are you from, Amelia?
I'm from New Zealand, but
Great! And do you live here now?
Yes, as of 3 months ago.
Okay, what are you doing here, Amelia?
I'm a teacher aide in a nursery, so 3 and 4 year olds.
Okay, that's annoying. So, off you go with the story, Amelia.
So several years ago, we had a family cat that went missing, and
So
after
a
about
family cat?
yes, a cat.
Just to be clear.
And after about a week of not finding him, we eventually found him, and his foot had been caught in a gin trap for rodents. So we had to decide whether to amputate his leg or put the cat down. So being our family pet, we amputated.
Can I just say, is this a New Zealand anecdote? A cat's about to lose a leg.
When he did lose a leg, and after...
I'm laughing, it's terrible.
3 days after the surgery, a big earthquake hit my hometown.
Oh, my God.
And so then...
This story is amazing.
We were out of our house for about a month and took our cat Etta with us because he'd just lost a leg. And then it was about a month later, and it was late at night, and we heard this meowing at the door. And so we went downstairs, opened the door, and in walked our actual cat with 4 legs, and we realised we'd amputated someone else's cat.
Very rare. These are Christmas gifts. Let's have a look. New Year's. Oh, look, it's a festive jumper. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
John.
John, lovely. And where are you from, John?
From Watford.
Watford. Is that a pug on your jumper?
I believe so.
Oh, no, it's a polar bear. There, it's a polar bear. If anyone asks you again, John, no, it's not. And what do you do, John?
I'm an accountant.
Of course you are. Off you go with your story.
Thank you. Late 90s, New Year's Eve party. 2 girls there, let's call them Little and Large, because they were. I get off with Little, my mate gets off with Large.
I can't listen to It's New Year's. We're literally running out of time. It's nearly the end of the year.
Last thing of the year.
Oh, no, we'll have one more. We'll have one more. Yeah, come on, 2024. Deliver 2024. Hello. Hi, we have high hopes. What's your name?
Lydia.
Lydia, lovely. And where are you from, Lydia?
I'm from St Albans.
St Albans, lovely. And what do you do in St Albans, Lydia?
I live in London and I work for a private members club.
Oh, hello.
There we go.
Is anyone on the couch in your story?
The host might be.
Oh,
we might stop
You regretted the first one.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
I believe they're just reloading.
She didn't look like she worked in a dungeon, did she? What a shame.
What sort of private members club do you think it was?
You don't know what's coming.
No.
You don't?
No, I genuinely don't.
Oh, you were just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
No way.
I wasn't going to risk it.
No way.
If I was in the story.
Hey,
yeah.
I'm with you.
Do we have another one? Oh, we do. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. What a seasonal shirt.
Thank you very much.
What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Chris, lovely. And where are you from, Chris?
Originally Devon, but living in Uxbridge.
Uxbridge. And what do you do in Uxbridge?
So I'm in the Royal Air Force.
Hello. No wonder he's wearing a fancy holiday shirt. What's your story, sir?
So, many years ago, my girlfriend at the time took me with her to her family between Christmas and New Year. We had some food. I placed my side plate on the arm of my chair at the time. And then I discovered that in the box of chocolates, there were only nutty chocolates left. And I really don't like nutty chocolates, so that was all that was left. So I started sucking the chocolate off the nuts and putting the nuts back on my side plate. Anyway, I'd amassed quite a collection of hazelnuts. Just as my girlfriend's elder sister walked in, and quick as a flash, she said, "Oh, not eating those." Scooped them up, shoved them in her mouth, and ate them. Oh. This day, she has no idea that happened.
Now, I'm feeling generous on New Year's Eve. Yeah. Should we let him walk?
Thank you.
Yeah, you can walk.
Thank you.
You can walk. Air Force. Air Force. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Ellis.
Ellis, lovely. And where are you from, Ellis?
I'm from Hull, but I live in London now.
OK, what do you do in London, Ellis?
I'm a customer success manager.
A what?
A customer success manager.
A customer success manager. Oh, wow. He manages customers' success. Well, a lot on the couch tonight for you, Ellis, I tell you now. Let's not pry. We don't know what that job is. Off you go with your story, Ellis.
OK, so when I was 18, I went on a gap year with a friend, travelled the world, and we were about 7 months into the trip at this point, so we'd completely run out of money. So to find somewhere to stay, we had to rely on an app where basically you used to apply to stay with locals in different cities.
Yes.
So we were in Washington, D.C., had no money, we tried everyone on the app, and finally a man named Bobby got back to us. And he said, you know, got a great place for you to stay, really good location, and it sounded perfect, but then he said, just one thing, I like my guests to experiment with my lifestyle. So we said, OK, well, what's your lifestyle? And he said, oh, I'm a nudist. So we said, OK, so that left my friend and I with a decision. We either sleep rough on the streets of Washington, D.C., or we get naked with this complete stranger twice our age.
I think we know what he did.
Yeah. Fast forward a couple hours, the three of us are bollock naked in his kitchen with a beer, getting to know each other. And that's when his roommate walked in, fully clothed, to get a drink. And it turns out Bobby was the only one in that house who's a nudist, and we were just his naked friends for the night.
That's a good story. They just had a beer. I was thinking something really dark and awful is going to happen in this story now, but it was fun.
Well, I've actually stayed at your apartment in New York, so I can understand why you were
Oh, you found those things. Who do we find there? Hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Liz.
Liz, lovely. And what do you do, Liz?
I'm a leadership coach.
OK, she's a leadership coach. We all need one. And where do you live, Liz?
I live in London, in North London.
North London. No. Oh, but actually, we might find somebody. But anyway, Liz, off you go with your story.
OK, so to start with, there's a spoiler alert that there's going to be scenes of nudity and cancer in the story. But I'll get this cracking. So I went on holiday last
Can I just say, never start a story with cancer.
Yeah.
I like the nude. And
the nudity really goes.
The cancer's like...
It's like, I'm naked. Keep going. With cancer.
You're with me, though, right?
All right, start. Off you go, Liz.
OK,
quick.
so I'm on holiday in Denmark, and I decide to go to the beach on my own. And it's an absolutely gorgeous day. The beach is deserted. It's super, super hot. And so I'm like, you know, well, when in Rome, like when in Denmark, better go native.
There you go.
So I go topless.
She's a leadership coach.
Yes.
You're a great leader.
So there I am, I'm topless. I decide to go swimming in the sea, and I look to my left, and there's this really hot kayaker. And I'm like, oh, he looks nice. Now, I'm 52, and it's got to be said that maybe I haven't always dated age appropriately.
OK, Bridget. My bad.
And so he kayaks over to me, and we start chatting, and I'm in the sea for like a really long time. I get really cold, my toes are going blue.
Yes.
So I'm like, let's get out of the sea. And he's walking behind me, so at this point, he hasn't yet seen my assets.
Oh, I'm gone. Do you know what? I just wanted to get out before the cancer.
We finally...
I knew cancer was coming, and I just thought, let's get out before... It's all good fun so far. Let's just bail before that happens.
That was in the theme of the show.
Who is there? Hello. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm AJ.
AJ, and where are you from, AJ?
I'm from London.
Lovely. And what do you do in London, AJ?
I'm a doctor.
An actual doctor?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyone else feel old? You're the doctor? Off you go with your story, AJ.
So I was working a night shift in A&E in quite a nice part of London, and I was asked to see an older female patient with her husband. And they were quite a well-to-do couple, quite well-dressed, and she was complaining of abdominal pain. So it quickly became apparent in my examination that there was no abdominal pain. Her husband quietly takes me to the side and says, you know, look, it was our anniversary tonight, and I wanted to get her a gift. And I was waiting for him to say, and he'd purchased her some anal beads.
Wow. I love
they
this story.
had
I love it, I'm in.
tried them that night, and he was worried that maybe a couple were still inside her.
Wherever we thought this story was going.
Yeah.
Amy Harris, very good face. Very good face, Amy Harris.
It's a horrifying, fabulous story. And I mean,
So we think...
Can we get back to the fact that he got her something nice?
Yes. She probably asked for some beads.
Yes. She asked for some beads.
So the string is broken. There's some stray beads.
There's some stray beads. So myself and my senior, we go in to retrieve the beads. And whilst my hand is still, inside, the husband says, "So, doctor, when do you think we could try this again? Is tonight too soon?"
Oh!
Is tonight too soon? So I just gave them copious amounts of lube and said goodnight.
You can walk. Best story of the series.
I thought he meant, when can we do this again with her?
Oh, I see.
That's what I was...
When can we have a three-way with my wife again?
Yeah, when can we get together and do this again with your...
I do admire the commitment.
Yeah.
They were committed to it, and they just needed to get it done.
Was that not breaking the old confidentiality, though? A reread of the contract, madam.
I don't think they'll come forward to complain.
Before we go, Graham has allowed me to be in charge of this lever. But I think, and I'm not just saying this like in their faux, I think they've come here, they're going to be disappointed because Graham's not here. So I think whatever the story, we let them walk. Do you agree?
No.
If their story sucks, I'm walking over there and I'm launching it. Come on, man. They gotta bring the heat. This is still a Graham Norton show. It's the red chair.
Okay, all right.
Please let me launch it.
Okay, fine. I can't argue with you. Hello, red chair, human.
Hello?
Hello, what's your name?
Peter.
Peter, what is your... Are you wearing two watches?
No, that's a strap the bracelet that my daughter's bought me.
Oh, he could... Whatever he says, he should be able to walk. I'm sorry Graham's not here. Please share your story.
OK, so this was back in the day when power cuts on holiday were not that uncommon. And so we're away on holiday, two couples sharing an apartment. And sure enough, we'd been out for the night, plenty to drink, coming back.
Oh.
A little bit worse for wear.
Are you going where I think you're going, Peter?
No, I don't think so. Well, maybe. And so, yeah, it's pitch black. We managed to get back. Now, unbeknown to me, I'm a fella. Well, no, I know I'm a fella, but girls apparently hover when they get to a loo that they're not that familiar with. I didn't know this. We all said goodnight. Woke up the next morning and we were greeted to the loo seat was down, lid was down, little brown pile decorated with loo.
Nasty. I got you to... But can I just say, in brackets, he was wearing a bracelet and his daughter had named him.
Yeah, but then he did talk about having a shit in the dark on a toilet seat. Do you know what I mean? That bracelet can't get you out of that.
I don't get the science.
I was confused by the hover and the...
No, but surely when it hits the lid, something's...
There's a bounce up. There's a baguette.
Like, you're not going to hear it splash.
You will hear a thud.
It sounds like there was a blackout, but it had nothing to do with electricity.
Thank you. I really want to do it. Will you go and sit?
I'll go sit.
OK, go sit. I just want to pull it.
Where is it? This way?
Yeah, that way.
OK.
You want to do it with me? You want to do it?
Ask him what his story is as well.
No. You do it when you're ready.
Good idea.
All right, well,
there you are. No, you don't have to do a story. We're all going to do it, because we only get to do this once, because Daddy's not here.
Shall we do it?
Come on. Everyone do it. Come on, Toby.
Come on. I'm going to tell you about the time I went to Graham Norton.
Yeah?
And he wasn't there.
Steady, brace
There
yourself.
was a woman named...
It was so fun.
Was it fun?
Yeah. We all did it. We all did it.